I'm your friendly wealth manager here, ready to deliver to you the secrets of the wealthy. Ever pondered handing your traditional IRA or 401k to the next generation? If so, you're not alone. But first, let's take a step back and understand what these terms mean. A traditional IRA or individual retirement account is a type of savings account that offers tax benefits to help you save for retirement. Similarly, a 401k is a retirement savings plan sponsored by an employer, where employees can save and invest a portion of their paycheck before taxes are taken out. Both these tools serve a crucial purpose: to provide you with a nest egg during your golden years. They offer tax advantages that can substantially grow your savings over time. However, like most things in life, they come with their own set of rules and regulations. While these retirement savings vehicles are beneficial, passing them on to the next generation might not be as advantageous as you might think. One of the key factors to consider is the tax implications. Now, this is where things can get a little tricky. When you pass on a traditional IRA or 401k to the next generation, the distributions they receive from these accounts are taxed as ordinary income. Let's break this down a bit. Say, for instance, you leave behind an IRA worth $100,000. Your child, the beneficiary, doesn't just pocket that full amount. Instead, as they withdraw from the account, the distributions are added to their income for the year and taxed accordingly. Now here's where the tax brackets come into play. The more income you have, the higher your tax bracket. So if your beneficiary is already in a high tax bracket, the added income from the IRA or 401k could potentially push them into an even higher one. And a higher tax bracket equals a higher tax bill. Think of it as a staircase, where each step represents a tax bracket. The higher you climb, the more taxes you pay. So if your beneficiary is already standing on one of the top steps, the addition of your IRA or 401k distributions could make them climb even higher, resulting in them having to hand over a larger portion of their inheritance to Uncle Sam. What's more, these tax implications can also affect the overall value of the inheritance. If a significant portion of the inherited amount goes towards paying taxes, the actual amount your heirs end up with could be considerably less than what you intended. To put it into perspective, if your beneficiary is in the top tax bracket, they could end up paying as much as 37% in taxes. So if you leave behind a $100,000 IRA, they could potentially lose $37,000 to taxes. That's a considerable chunk. So, while you may be leaving a significant amount of money to your heirs, they could end up losing a considerable portion of it to taxes. And that's why it's so important to understand the tax implications of passing on a traditional IRA or 401k to the next generation. Another crucial aspect to deliberate is the IRS's 10-year rule. This rule, introduced in the Secure Act of 2019, has significant implications for anyone inheriting an IRA or 401k. Let's break it down. The IRS's 10-year rule stipulates that beneficiaries must withdraw all funds from an inherited IRA or 401k within 10 years of the original owner's passing. What this means is that there's no requirement to take out a certain amount each year, but by the end of the 10th year, the account must be completely drained. Now you might think, great, a decade to do with the funds as I wish. But hold on a second, there's a catch, and it's a pretty big one at that. Each withdrawal from the inherited account is subject to income tax, so while you have a decade to empty the account, the tax implications could be considerable. But how does this happen? Well, let's say you inherit a sizable IRA. If you decide to withdraw large amounts each year, or perhaps take out all the funds in one go, this extra income could push you into a higher tax bracket. This means you'll be paying more tax than you would have done if you were able to spread out the withdrawals over a longer period of time. And it doesn't stop there. If the original owner of the IRA or 401k was in a lower tax bracket than you are, you'll end up paying more tax on the inheritance than they would have done had they lived to withdraw it themselves. This essentially turns the inheritance into a tax time bomb for the unsuspecting beneficiary. To sum it up, the IRS 10-year rule can have a significant impact on the tax liabilities of those who inherit an IRA or 401k. It can force them into higher tax brackets and potentially result in a larger tax bill than expected. The 10-year rule can create a tax time bomb for your heirs, significantly reducing the value of the inheritance. So, what are the alternatives to passing on a traditional IRA or 401k? After all, the goal here is to maximize the value of your hard-earned money for your heirs. One alternative is converting a traditional IRA or 401k to a Roth IRA. This move has the potential to provide significant tax advantages. Unlike traditional IRAs or 401ks, Roth IRAs are not subject to required minimum distributions. When you convert to a Roth, you pay taxes up front, but the distributions are generally tax-free. This means your beneficiaries could potentially receive the entire balance of your Roth IRA without having to pay taxes on it. Another alternative is using life insurance as a wealth transfer tool. Life insurance proceeds are typically not subject to income tax. This means your beneficiaries can generally receive the full amount of the death benefit tax-free. Additionally, if structured properly, life insurance proceeds can also be exempt from estate tax. This could potentially leave your beneficiaries with more money than they would receive from a traditional IRA or 401k. However, these alternatives are not without their own complexities. Converting a traditional IRA or 401k to a Roth IRA can trigger a significant tax bill in the year of conversion, and life insurance policies can come with their own set of costs and considerations. It's essential to take these factors into account and consult with a financial advisor or tax professional to understand the implications of these strategies for your unique situation. In conclusion, the process of leaving a financial legacy involves more than just passing on a traditional IRA or 401k. It requires strategic planning, understanding the tax implications, and considering the IRS's 10-year rule. While passing on a traditional IRA or 401k to the next generation may seem like a good idea, it's important to consider the tax implications and the IRS's 10-year rule. By exploring alternatives, you could potentially leave a more valuable inheritance for your heirs. If you found any of this information useful, please like, share, and subscribe.